international fiberglass company made one Muffin Man, and it was called Bunyan. So it's a big like roadside attraction kind of statues made out of fiberglass. And the model is Paul Bunyan, so he's standing with an axe like this, and he's like 30 feet tall, this like enormous anthropoid fiberglass shell. But anyway, as they went on, they never really, they never really like formally deviated from the Paul Bunyan thing. So every model thereafter is sort of a minor deviation upon the initial Paul Bunyan casting, which they sort of just like swapped parts in and out as they needed to. So they all have this like initial forebearer with like the mark of Bunyan upon them. There's this one in Atlanta, Illinois, that's outside a hot dog stand, and his hands didn't get changed at all. They just didn't put an axe in them. So they're still like close, like this, right? And then on top of them, like a hot dog. So here are some of their names: Louis, Paul, Big Ed, Big Bert, Big Mike, formerly of Big Mike's, Chicken Boy, Edwin, the Guy, Unnamed King, Sergio, Tony, Kevin. 26-foot Paul Bunyan erect in front of a lumber business. Finding no limitation, the owners replaced Bunyan's axe with an American flag. New Mexico, Albuquerque. This is not a Muffin Man. Glass Daddy, Las Cruces, blue jeans and baseball cap, not Cadillac, Chief Pontiac, Harvey the Giant Rabbit, South Dakota. Sioux Falls, Mr. Bendo holding an exhaust pipe in one hand, Full Throttle Willie originally from Winnemucca, Nevada, cowboy holding a cigar in his left hand and a mug of beer in his right. Mr. Bendo, Paul Bunyan at San Angelo, cowboy, two Big Johns and a Uniroyal gal in Gainesville. Happy with Beaumont. Native American and Chinos beside Sad Sam's off of I-65. Man carrying a hamburger in one glove. Mr. Spock, atop of Salt Lake. Chincoteague Viking at Roanoke. Paul Bunyan on a roof at the end of Hewitt Avenue. Wisconsin, Center, Spooner, Cowboy. So that's what I know about the Muffin Man. Next, it's important for all of us, actually, that we discuss we're going to discuss altering a setting. There we go. Okay. So, Weird Darrell was this outlaw country star who was active like mostly in the 80s. And he was initially like really early in his career, identified kind of as a talent, signed by Columbia. But then he was prevented in his entire career from ever releasing a album. Because he was on a contract the whole time. So there was no Weird Darrell music in the world. And Darrell was very active. He like toured all over the Southwest. There was one year where he did 400 shows in 1 year, which you'll notice is mathematically difficult. Ringo Starr played drums briefly in Weird Darrell and the Gusty Winds, which was Weird Darrell's band. And so we'll come back to Weird Darrell's music and its fate, but the oral history of the Gusty Winds is documented in Gusty Winds They Exist, a Weird Darrell fanzine, which is available online. I didn't write it, it's real, I promise. I don't really do writing, I guess. This is more about archaeology. Sorry, this is a little bit out of order. So anyway, I perused the Gusty Winds May Exist fanzine and I've returned with this. The last days of the wind. Weird Daryl was the best of the bunch, never permitted to release his lifetime. Daryl tore through the 80s via payphone, befriended everyone from Darlin to ex-Beatle Ringo Starr. And you know what he said to me? He said, "Relax, it's a leap year." It's not as bad as it sounds. All I know is I thought he was vital. Daryl showed up. I said I'd look into it, which I did. Sneaking into Tulsa for a couple weeks. One night Daryl noticed me. I could just tell. He screamed, "Are you coming?" I shrugged. We kept in touch. Each night out there wearing a wig and hat and sunglasses, just accepted the inevitable. I was thrilled. I realized that no one had ever taught him how to write cursive. Didn't need that kind of attention. Neil Young got in touch with me and asked, glowing, easily devastated, if we could just find a way to firmly believe. He talked, said there was just no way. I was visiting Gallup one night and we went out to Pizza Hut. Daryl told me it was over, just regular, on 2 weeks' notice. He looked me straight in the eye, my mouth, as smooth and resonant as the first, just blazing, holding it together. Despite a decade, despite Darla, despite a fucking Beatle, it still gets to me sometimes. So, the deal with Weird Daryl's music is that, I mean, it did once exist, of course, as most things do. But, like I said, Columbia never let him release a record ever, so,
Is that because he was competing with someone?
no, he's, nobody's ever asked me further questions about Weird Daryl before. I admit I only know what was in the fan. I only know what was in the fanzine, and I crossed out most of it.
Okay.
But there's a cassette tape. Well, there's 2 cassette tapes actually. The first we'll get to in a second, but the second we will talk about now. The second was released recently by a European label, or more recently, I mean like 3 years ago. By 3 years ago, I mean, God knows when, because, of course, Red Internet surrounds us. When is then, as above, so below. And they released these 5 songs, which were sent in to the keeper of the fanzine, whose name is Freddie Keene, because they're the last soundboard recording from Weird Daryl's last boogie at Crazy Creek, which was his last show before the gusty winds and Daryl kind of disbanded. The first tape, which we're now getting to second, is still stuck in the dashboard of this person's truck, and they can't get it out. So the release starts with the title, something called Encore Intro. That's kind of where you go from there. So to close out, I'm going to play a Weird Daryl song. This one's called I Found the Lord in Horses. And yeah, I'm Kirby. This is the Bread Internet. If you want to know more, there's cards over there with a website that will take you to a bunch of music and the first episode of a podcast, which is basically what we've done here together. So yeah, this is I Found the Lord in Horses. Thank you very much for having me. Oh, I'm gonna play with a pick. And I'm gonna drink some water. Last night, Chris really nicely got me water before the set. And every single thing I did during the show while I was doing it, I looked down at the water and was like, I should really take a drink of that water. And I didn't. The entire show. And I was so fucking thirsty while I was singing this song last night.
cathedrals all across this God-forsaken land. They ate the bread, drank the wine, and kneeled. But I just can't quite seem to understand. My church is a stable, not a steeple. A saddle is the pew in which I pray. On Sundays I sleep later than most people. And I don't know that I'll ever change my ways. I found the Lord in horses, dingy bars, and lonesome songs. And who the hell are you to call me wrong? Black and AM country station, just so clear now. There's nothing quite